Shalom to the elect of Israel. I'm Isaiah, coming at you another lesson of truth and straight facts. First off, I gotta give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the occupants pushing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, waking up the hope for the elect. And Shalom to the Akwaf who are listening and learning, which are the sisters, the women. So coming at you another lesson. This is the so-called white race, the so-called white peoples, are the Edomites, are the biblical Edomites. Proof: the so-called white people, the white race, are the Edomites in the scriptures, in the Bible. Okay, their biblical name is Edomites, not Caucasians, not so-called white people. Now, Satan has a physical seed on earth, just well as the Most High Yahweh has a physical seed on earth. Satan has a seed here on earth. Okay? The sons of Satan, just like you got the sons of Yahweh. You got the sons of God and the sons of the wicked. Okay? And we're going to prove that. And this is Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16. And it reads, verse 15. I'm going to start at 14 to prove the point. And the Lord Yahweh power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle. Okay, cursed. Now we know the Edomites cursed when you read in the scriptures. Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and the dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life, which is going into confusion. The dust represents confusion. And the dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. Now I said between thy seed, letting Satan know, the serpent, that he got a physical seed. Okay? Between thy seed and her seed. Now a woman doesn't have a seed. The seed comes from the man. When they say between thy seed and her seed, meaning Israel, it's going to be a separation. Okay? Enmity between Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and the Hebrew Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. It's going to be enmity between the two. That's why when you go to Genesis chapter 25, what did the Lord tell Rebekah? And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. So two nations of people are in thy womb. Okay? And two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Okay? They are different. They are diverse from each other, man. Okay? Separated. Now, verse 26. And after this came out his brother. I'm going to read verse 25. Genesis 25 and 25. Proving Esau, Edom is the so-called white man. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Okay? Now when Esau ate that lentil soup with the lentil and the raw meat, he became Edom. Okay? And we're going to read it right here. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. Okay? Edom. Now, when you go to Genesis 27, what did Esau say when Isaac died? Let's read it. This is Genesis 27 and 41. And Esau hated Jacob. That's why the Lord said he hated Esau. Okay? And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of the mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Now Esau never slayed Jacob. He never slayed Jacob. Okay? But who did Esau slay? He slayed the seeds of Jacob. Okay? His children. And we're going to prove that. Now this is Genesis 36. And I'm going to read verse 1 and 2. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Okay? It said Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan. Okay, Adal, the daughter of Elon, the Hittites. And he took a daughter of Zibeon, the Hivite. Okay, the Hivite. Now, when you jump down to verse Genesis 36 and verse 12, and it tell you that it say Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. Amalek is who? The Khazarian Empire. The Amalekites. Okay? The Ashkenazi Jews. Amalek. Okay? Showing you that Esau, Edom, the ones that's over there in the land of Israel, they are the so-called Jews. They are the Amaleks. They're the Amalekites. Okay? The Khazarian Empire. The Ashkenazi Jews that they call them. They are Edomites. Okay? Now, Esau said in Genesis 27:41, when my father die, I'm going to slay my brother Jacob. That's that perpetual hatred that he had for his brother Jacob. Now we're going to prove that should be enough. We're going to prove Esau Edom is the so-called white man today. This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. And it reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Now we know, according to Malachi chapter 1, verse 3 and 4, the Lord calls Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the wicked. Okay? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? He covered all the judges. We know that. My point of this lesson, Edom controls the earth right now. Okay? Now when you read Job chapter 1, this is what it say. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. And the man was perfect and upright and one that feared God. Okay? It said in the land of Uz, which is one of the lands of Edom. Meaning Job was living in that land. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you something about Job. The whole book of Job, mostly, 80% of the book of Job is by Edomites, man. Their downfall, how wicked they are, how they're going to be destroyed. This is mostly what Job was pushing. Because he was living in that land, watching how wicked the Edomites was, man. That's why he told you in Job 30:1, they that are younger and I have me in derision. Okay? And the way they are younger because the Edomites come out of so-called black people. Okay? That what makes them younger because they come out of, you don't get blacks from whites, you get whites from black. You get so-called red people from so-called black people. Okay? So that was make them younger. Now, Job said they that are younger than I have me in derision. And he called them base men. Okay? Meaning they were violent in the earth. They were just wicked and they the lowest of the low. So Job was living in the land of Uz. And he saw how the Edomites was, man. How wicked they was. So he mostly wrote about how wicked the Edomites was, man. Okay? And how they was going to be destroyed for their wickedness. And how they are base men, violent in the earth. Now, Job 9:24 said the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. Now, when you go to Job chapter 15 and read verse 19, this is what it say. Unto whom alone the earth was given. I just read to you Job 9:24. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Who controls the earth entirely right now? The so-called white man. Okay? Job 15:19. Unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. What is this talking about? It say, unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. Let's prove who Job talking about right here in this verse. Okay, I'm going to read it again. Job 15 and 19. To whom alone the earth was given. That's a precept of Job 9 and 24. And no stranger passed among them. Let's prove who didn't pass among the Edomites. This is Numbers chapter 20. I'm going to start at verse 14 to get to the point. Straight to the point first. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel, which is Jacob, thou knowest all the travail that hath befallen us, how our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dwelt in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers. And when we cried unto the Lord, he heard our voice, and sent an angel, and had brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the utmost of thy border, talking to Edom. Let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through thy field or pass through thy vineyard. Okay? Now he said, let us pass. Right? And Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword. Okay? And the children of Israel said unto him, we will go by the highway, and if I and my cattle drink of the water, then I will pay for it. I will only, without doing anything else, go through on my feet. And he said, and this was Edom said, king of Edom, and he said, thou shalt not go through. And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand. Now, it say right here in verse 18, and Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword. What is what Esau blessing? In Genesis 27, the sword, man. Okay? Now understand, he still had that perpetual hatred. Okay? Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border, wherefore Israel turned away from him. Now, did you hear that? He didn't give them passage, man. He refused to let them pass through. Again, Job 15 and 24. Job 15 and 19. Unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. Okay? What Edom said, thus Edom refused, this is Numbers 20 and 21. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border. Okay? Hey, Moses said, let us pass. He said, what? No, you are not coming through here. So, Job 15 and 19, unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. Now, that right there proves to you that Job was talking about Edom, man. When he said the earth was given into their hand, man. Okay? Job 9:24 said the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. Right here in Job 15 and 19, he said, unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. Because he did not let Israel go through his land, man. Okay? He did not let the 12 tribes go through his land. That's what that's talking about. Okay? Now, let's move on. Now what the people say is that the Edomites were done away with. You got all these different Edomites, okay, talking about Edom was done away with. Well, let's see what the Lord say. Let's prove that they are lying with the scriptures, okay? Let's prove that. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 16. This is proof that they lied, man. That's what it reads. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 16. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. There is no end of all the people. 18 nations on the earth. Those same 18 nations are still here today, man. Okay? All 18 nations. There is no end of all the people. Now, is the scripture line, or are these philosophers and these um different what they call them? These philosophers, man. Okay, are they lying or are the scriptures lying? Because it seems to me like these Edomites, like Jesus is the Word, and James White the Edomite, and these other Edomites, okay, they don't know the scriptures, man. They say Edom was done away with. Where is that in the scriptures? The Edomites are not done away with. Okay? They are right here in the scriptures, man. It tell you, Ecclesiastes 4:16, there is no end of all the people, man. Okay? There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. Okay? There's no end because we come back in reincarnation, we come back, man. Okay? Now, that's proof. There is no end of all the people. Now let's go to Obadiah. It's only one chapter. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 10. For it reads, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Okay? It say, for the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. Esau never killed Jacob. Now when you read Obadiah, the first chapter, the first verse, it said a vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power concerning Edom. Okay, that's verse 1. When you go to verse 10, it say, for the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Now, Esau never killed Jacob. So what is this talking about? It's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel, man. His rape, robbing, murdering, and pillaging the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what this is talking about, man. That's why this lesson was important for me to do this morning. I got off work because my spirit is on these wicked Edomites, man. Okay? Now, for the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. What violence? The rape, robbing, murdering, pillaging. Okay? Hanging Jake, castrating us, man. Okay? Butt breaking us. All manners of wickedness, man. Okay? Now, this is Amos chapter 1, verse 11. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. But I will send a fire upon Teman, which was a son of Esau, which shall devour the palace of Bosra, which was one of the number one lands. Which talking about right now, North America, man. Babylon, the great virgin daughter Babylon, the mystery Babylon. Okay. So, reading this again. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword. How? Rape, robbing, murdering, pillaging, man. Okay? And did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. Now, when they say, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, what is that talking about? What is that talking about? Now, this is still Edom. So let's leave out the so-called white people. This is still talking about Edom, correct? Okay. This is Jeremiah. Let's see. Going back right now, real quick. Let's see when it say, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tap perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. Let's see what he did. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 33. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah, which is northern kingdom, and the southern kingdom, were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. It say all that took them captive held them fast. They refused to let them go. Who went into captivity? Was that not the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans? Yes, it was. Okay? It say the children of Israel, which is the northern kingdom, and the children of Judah, which is the southern kingdom, were oppressed together, and all that took them captive held them fast. They refused to let them go. Who put us in captivity? The so-called white man. Okay? So if Edom done away with, let's say Edom done away with, who put us in captivity? The so-called white man. How can you link these together? Because the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. And that was who? Edom. Okay? How do you prove Job 9:24 was Edom? What did Job say in Job 15 and 19? To whom alone the earth was given, and they refused to give passage to any stranger. Who was the strangers that was trying to get passage through the land of Edom? The Israelites. Now that was Edom. Okay? That was Edom. So if Edom done away with, it say right here, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were pressed together, and all that held them captive refused to let them go. Who put us in slavery? The so-called white man. How can we link the two together? It's all in the scriptures, man. Okay? It's all in the scriptures. Let's prove it. This is Exodus chapter 21, verse 16. And it reads, and he that stealeth a man and sells him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. And if it say, and he that stealeth a man and sells him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Who stole us and sold us? It said, if he be found in his hand, we are still found in their hand right now today, because what it said in Jeremiah 50 and 33, they took them captive and they refused to let them go. Who did that? The so-called white man stole us and sold us and held us captive. Okay? The so-called white man did that, right? So let's separate Edom from the so-called white man. Edom will let us pass through their land. What Job said in Job 15 and 19. Right? Okay. What did Genesis 27:41 say? When his father died, this was Esau said, he gonna pursue his brother with the sword. Right? Amos 1:11 said what? His anger tear perpetually, man, and he pursued his brother with the sword. Okay? These are For behold, in those days and in the time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, which is the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, I will also gather all nations and will bring them into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. And they have cast lots for my people, to the so-called white man who sold us in slavery. Okay, cast lots is those auctions about it. They had the Negroes on. Okay, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Okay, sell them to other Edomites to go work on the plantations. And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boyfriend harlot and sold a girl for wine. Now that's what they did when they went to Africa and they took rum, wine, and muzzle-loading guns to get to the Hamites, the Africans, to trade for us. Okay? He said, and have given a boy for an harlot, which they turned the men out to faggots, homosexuals, and sold a girl for wine, okay, that they may drink. It said, yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyrians, thy done, which are them Hamites, them Africans? It said, in all the coast of Palestine, which is the Arabs, it say, will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Meaning, what you reap, you're going to sow the same thing. Because the Lord, thus saith the Lord. He said, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, which is the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, because we are considered to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai as his gold and silver, and have carried into your temple my goodly pleasant things. Okay? The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem, which is the northern kingdom, and the southern kingdom, have ye sold unto the Grecians. Unto the Grecians. That ye may remove them far from their border. Who are the Grecians? The Idumeans, the Greeks, the Edomites. Okay? This is not rocket science. This is all linking up together. Okay? Behold, I will raise them out of the place whether you have sold them, and will render unto you recompense upon your own head. Okay? So, who sold us into slavery? Who stole us and sold us? The so-called white man, right? What the Genesis said, they come out what? Red all over. They are not white. Okay? They are so-called red. Well, they are red and pink. They are so-called white. They are red. They are not white. They are red. Who came out red? Edom. Red all over. Okay? Red all over. That lets you know the so-called white man you see today, they are red. They are not white. They are pink and different shades of red, man. Because their blood shall forth through their skin. Okay? This is Revelation 13 and verse 10. And it reads, I'm gonna read verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear, meaning the understanding of this precept. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with a sword must be killed with a sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And that is a very headline verse in this scripture, man. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Who are the saints in this verse? It's the Israelites. The ones who they held in captive and refused to let them go. Okay? The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Now, who wouldn't let us pass through the land? Edom. And he had a what? A perpetual hatred. Why? Because Jacob supplanted him. Well, actually, he sold his birthright to Jacob for some raw meat. And Jacob supplanted him for the blessing. Okay? So Esau sold his birthright, and then Jacob supplanted him for the blessing. So he said he was going to pursue his brother with the sword after their father died. Now that's a perpetual hatred, man. Okay? All the way up to right now today. Okay, because you got scholars. That's what I want to say. You got these scholars, these philosophers, these scholars write books like the Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomites. Then you got an Edomite named Charles Wiseman who wrote the book, Who is Esau Edom, which I have in front of me right now. I'm going to read it. Then you got the 1925 encyclopedia, okay, volume 5, page 41. It reads, Edom is modern day Jewry. What does that mean? Modern day Jewry. They are the so-called Jews today. It's a modern. So they are the so-called Jews today. Modern mean right now. They are not the ancient Jews. The ancient Jews are Judah, the so-called Negroes, the so-called Negroes, and the Jamaicans and the Haitians. Okay? Judah, Benjamin, Levi represents the Jews. Okay? But the tribe of Judah are the Jew. But they couldn't tell Judah, Benjamin, Levi. They said they couldn't tell separate the Judah, Benjamin, Levi. So they called all three tribes Jews. Okay. So according to these scriptures, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is the Edomites, man. This is Ezekiel chapter 25 and verse, I'm going to start at verse 12. And it reads, because if the Edomites is done away with, like James White the Edomites say, Jesus is the word. Oh yeah, vocab Malone. Okay. And it's another pastor. He said it too. The Edomites done away with. Okay. I read Ecclesiastes 4:16 when the Lord said there is no end of all the people. So is the Lord line or is these scholars line? Whose line? Is it the Most High Yahweh or is it these scholars in their philosophy? Because according to the scriptures, everything is accurate. And I'm leaning 100% that these scoffers, these philosophers are lying. Now, they don't want to accept the point that they don't want to accept the proof that you got a Edomite named Charles Wiseman that wrote a book called Who is Esau Edom? Why would he write that? That's why the Lord say in Psalm 64:8, so they shall make their tongue to fall upon themselves. Okay? Now, Ecclesiastes 4:16, there is no end of all the people. No end. If the Edomites is done away with, why would the Lord reference this verse in Ezekiel 25? Start at verse 12. And it read, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and had greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them. How did Edom revenge himself upon Israel? By having a perpetual hatred, man. Okay? That I read in Amos chapter 1 verse 11. It said again, and revenging himself upon them. Okay? Because of Jacob supplanted him for the blessing, and Jacob had the birthright. Okay? Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut it off. It say, and will cut it off. It didn't say, and I did cut it off. He said, and I will cut it off. Okay? These Edomites, they play on words, man. That's why you got to read these scriptures, dissect these scriptures, man. He said, and I will cut off man and beast from it. And I will, okay? And I will make it desolate from Teman, and Deadi Dan shall fall by the sword. He said, and I will. This is future tense, man. This hasn't happened yet. Okay? For all them dummies that said the Edomites are done away with, this hasn't happened yet. Verse 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. He said by the hand of his people Israel. So meaning he's going to give spiritual power to his elect men of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, the 144, and they are going to lay their hands on Edom by the power of the Lord. When did that happen? When did the Israelites destroy the Edomites? Okay? When? That didn't happen. Now you had the time of the 1,000-year reign during the Dark Ages when we ruled the earth, but we didn't kill the Edomites. We put them in cages, locked them away, man. Okay? They was basically in cages. In caves. Salakia. They wasn't dead, man. Okay? Because they came back into power when? During the 1400s. Now, that's my point. If the Edomites were done away with, who came back into power during the 1400s? During the Renaissance era, which is rebirth. Which is, who created iconoclasm? Which is whitewashing of everything. Who did that? If the so-called white man, the Edomites, was done away with, who came back into power during the 1400s and took over the earth? As it tell you in Revelation that he must be loose for a little season. Who is this? It said that serpent. What serpent? The same one that was in the garden that the Lord told you in Genesis 3 and 15 that he said to the serpent that I will put enmity between thy seed and her seed. It's the same serpent, man. Who is the serpent? The spiritual demon Satan. His physical counterpart, his seeds on the earth, is the so-called white man. This is not rocket science. Reading again. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. That never happened. That happened when we ruled during the Dark Ages, but we didn't kill them. Okay? And they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord. Okay? We took them down for 1,000 years. They did not get slaughtered. So, that happened on a small level. Now, when you go to Obadiah, let's prove that. When you go to Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 18, it says this. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph shall be a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them. It didn't say they did. Okay? It said they shall kindle, not they did kindle. Okay? It does not say they did kindle. So the 1,000-year, when we was in rulership of the earth for 1,000 years, it didn't say we did kindle them. It say, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh have spoken it. This is future tense, man. This hasn't happened yet. Okay? Now, this is the book I got on my screen. It's called Who Was Esau Edom by Charles Wiseman. Okay? This is the 5th page. And it reads, The Life and History of Esau. Esau was the firstborn of Isaac, and thus was heir to the birthright. He was heir to the birthright. It reads, derived from the direct racial lineage of Adam to Noah to Abraham. Thus Esau was racially an Edomite, a Shemite, and a Hebrew, because they are the Hebrew Edomites. The racial stock of the white race. Now this is an Edomite wrote this book. It's called Who Was Esau Edom by Charles Wiseman. He said the racial stock of the white race, man. Okay, the Idumeans, the Caucasians. The Caucasian mean cave dweller. Their original home is Mount Seir, man, which is mountains, caves, man. Okay, Petra. So this hasn't happened yet, man. It hasn't happened yet. The so-called white man, the so-called white people, the so-called white race are the Edomites of the scriptures, man. They are the Edomites. They are red. They are not white. They are red. And the Lord gave them a curse of leprosy, man. The same way he told the servant that he was cursed, he told Edom the same thing. And I'm going to close it on this. This is Isaiah chapter 30, chapter 34, and verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, till my here on earth. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The Lord say, the Edomites, the Idumeans, they are cursed. Okay? They are cursed. Now let's see what he told the serpent in the garden. Going back to Genesis chapter 3 again. This is Genesis 3 and verse 14. And the Lord Yahweh power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon the belly shall thou go, and thus shall thou eat all the days of thy life. They're cursed, man. Okay? Even though the Lord washed the earth out with a flood, he brought Cain back as Esau, man. The same curse. Because the Lord say what, man? Ecclesiastes 4 and 16. There's no end of all the people, man. Esau is Cain, and Jacob was Abel in the reincarnation, man. It's all proven in the scriptures, man. Okay? These Edomites, these so-called white people today, their biblical name are Edomites. They are the Edomites. Period. Thus saith the scriptures. And the 1925 encyclopedia say Edom is modern day Jewry. They're not the ancient Jews, they're the modern day Jews. What they call themselves today? They call themselves the Jews. Jewish. Okay, the Israelis. Okay? So with that, I want to say all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah, Korash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, bringing up the hope for the elect. Shalom.